Right.
Well, and Miss Gittens got brutally attacked over that. I mean, she really did. She
What
got,
was
oh,
she
you're
called
trying to
again?
be, you're trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what she called. She basically was like, just pretty much. I felt bad for her in that meeting. I'll just tell you.
But in the end, it was brought to a motion. The public's voice was heard on it, and in the end, the board voted 6-1 to revisit this safety issue.
And the reason, what she just said, the public voice was heard. That's because people like Denise and Christy are there every time there's a meeting, any type of workshop. These women are both there diligently. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I mean, it's
You know, and I would like to thank the 6 board members
Yes.
that voted to go back and take a look at that and see if, you know, perhaps they could go back to the old protocol. I do want to thank them. I think if those were the kind of working relationships that we had with the board for, you know, for the last several years, I don't think some of the issues that are occurring now would actually even be issues. They'd be non-issues.
See, she's way nicer than me.
Oh my gosh, me too. If you notice my face, that my smile got bigger because I said, oh, well, we're even going to thank the 2 board members that chastised the public for not better using our time at the podium at the last school board meeting to address the real issues or even anything on the agenda. I would like to remind those 2 board members that I asked about something on the agenda item I-1, and I'm still waiting for my response. I never got an answer to that. So
I always get a response.
Well, you know, I mean, we could, the agenda in and of itself is a huge topic, because in order to really understand what's going on before we ever get to the meetings, we have to go through the agenda. You have to go onto board docs, you have to read all of the presentations, all of the corresponding contracts. So I think we've actually spent over the last year asking a lot of questions about things that are on the agenda, and I think that we have supported many things that have been on the agenda, and we have equally
absolutely
not supported some of them.
Yeah. And that in and of itself is a full-time job. What we're doing, you know, behind the scenes, what you guys don't see, you know, at the school board meetings is exactly what Denise just said. You know, when that agenda hits, when it's finally live, like we're all waiting for it. And as soon as that hits, you know, we're then opening it up, we're taking a look at all of the attachments, all of the agenda items. Now, on a good week, it could be light, like it was in this last week, where it's only maybe had a little less than 50. You know, whereas we're getting ready to go into some board meetings when they prepare for the new school year that are going to have well over 100 agenda items, and each one of those will have their own attachments. You know, it took when we were going over the superintendent search, it took almost 48 hours, almost straight hours, just to go through the what are they called? The resumes, because we got them last minute. And yeah, 2 days. We had 2 days to go through all of them.
Well, and not only did we go through the resumes, but then we also did Google searches and Facebook searches and all of that to try to get some additional background information. I mean, that's how important that is.
I feel like they cheated at some of the superintendent deal. I do feel like, I feel like that we were supposed to, the firm that was set out to get the superintendent promised us that we would have more people, a pool to pick from.
Yes.
And they failed on us there. That's my opinion of that.
And I believe that the entire vote for him was all done out of the sunshine. They did it, and we have proof of it. It was all done on a poll, on a piece of paper that the public was not provided access to. It was, in my opinion, that whole hiring should be null and void, and we should have to legally, if we're abiding by sunshine, we should have to go back to the drawing board. But
I don't want to give my opinion one way or the other on the superintendent. I am the type of person that likes to see people in action and see what they're going to do. But what I will say, because I ran school districts for 8 years and I was in charge of human resources, that there's no bigger position than the superintendent that you could hire for. And in this case, what they did is they took the resumes that they received, they selected 5 candidates, and they did Zoom interviews.
Yeah.
Now, I realize that these people, many of them, if not all of them, lived out of state. However, it's very, very hard to get to know somebody via an hour-and-a-half Zoom call. And so, once again, my
I don't know, what was that politician
I was
Tuber's name?
yeah.
I was just-
Yeah, my paradigm is that is only step one. And that
Yes, I
step
agree.
two is bringing them all in,
Yes.
contacting people that are in their district, speaking to their fellow board members, speaking to their union reps, not talking about unions, I'm just talking about what should occur with regard to hiring. So from those 5, they narrowed it down to 3, 1 dropped out, and then they were left with 2. And I just wonder how you make that kind of a decision when really you've probably had all of, I don't know what, 8, 9, 10 hours with these people. That is just not enough time to make
I
a
was
decision
so-
for a superintendent.
I was so
Yeah, I agree.
displeased with the whole deal, I didn't go to the meet and greet, I haven't met.
Not, nor did I.
I
I was at the meet and greet.
Yeah, I was displeased. I was, you know, that's one of those situations where your hands are so tied, there's nothing you're gonna say gonna change at that point.
Well, no, the deal was done.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if you want to meet him, he will be at the, I think it's the Southwest Florida Chamber of Commerce or Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce, one of those.
Do you have
Like
the date on
40
that?
bucks.
Do you have the date on that?
Yeah, it's, no, yeah, I can find it for you.
Yeah, if anybody even in the audience has the
I've
date
got
on
it.
that, we can let the viewers know.
And while she's looking for that, I wanna tell you, if you go back on my YouTube and watch the chalk talk these 2 ladies done, look, that was fire. The speakers, oh my God, that was some powerful speakers. And Alfie Oakes was one of the last people to speak. He come to me, he said, you know, he said, I can't believe these speakers were so good that they pretty much said most of what I planned to say. Yeah, these girls will tell you they're working it.
Well, and so we'll talk about the chalk talk. So anybody
Do
that's
you want me to give you this information for that bird?
All right, why don't you do
Then
that
we can move
first?
on?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are interested in meeting our new superintendent, it will be the Chamber of Southwest Florida is hosting a Meet the Superintendent night on Wednesday, May 11th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For non-members, it is $40, and you can find out more at www.chamberswfl.com.
Say that again, Christy, and give his name.
Okay, if you would like to meet the new superintendent of Lee County Schools, Dr. Bernier, you can do so on Wednesday, May 11th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Crown Plaza at Bell Tower Shops. You can find out more information. It's $40 for non-members. It's the Chamber of Southwest Florida. You can find out more information at chamberswfl.com.
And I mean, I do think it's a good idea always to speak to anybody that's going to be representing the school district.
You gotta know the devil you're dealing with.
You have to know.
Or you can just call the district and schedule a meeting with him. He'll be here as of this Friday, as of tomorrow. He's officially on the payroll as a consultant, so you could meet him as well if you'd like that
So
way.
what was I saying just after
We were
that?
talking about
Chalk
chalk talk.
Oh, thank you. Yes, so Christy and I decided that, you know, we obviously want to connect with the parents, the community members, all over Lee County. And so we decided that we were going to do these chalk talk tours. And we held our first one in Cape Coral. There were vendors there was an awesome food truck there.
The lady doing face paint, God, the kids love that.
Games for the kids, they were playing cornhole,
And amazing speakers.
amazing speakers, and so we're
I
gonna,
can't say enough about the.
yeah, we're gonna continue to do that, and if anybody is interested in attending the Chalk Talk tours, and you email me, there is a campaign newsletter that I send out. You can find out information about me on that campaign newsletter as well as Christy, and all you have to do is email me and just say, put me on your campaign newsletter list, and that email address is electdenisnystrom@gmail.com. So elect Denise, DENISE, Nystrom, NYSTROM@gmail.com. You can also email Christy and tell her the same thing, and she'll just forward the email to me. You want to say your email address, Christy?
I'll share my email address, but there will be an email address specifically for the Chalk Talk tour in the next week or so, because we have an issue with ticketing. But for now, you can email me at Christy for the number 4 leeschools@gmail.com. That's Christy, CHRISTY, the number 4 Lee, Lee, schools, schools @gmail.com.
Well, one of the reasons that I'm saying to email our campaign emails is also because then you get added to the newsletter itself.
Right.
So it's not
Stay
just,
informed.
and it's not just an invitation to the
And
Chalk Talk
Denise's
course.
newsletter is jam-packed with information. I rely on it for things at
I
times.
just don't see where she finds the time.
Me either.
And and if I call her, she picks up the phone right away. I'm like, it's unbelievable because I don't even do that all the time. Most of the time. But
You can't tell that I look a little tired because I have these glasses on, so I'm just
yeah.
kind
She just
of,
looks
you know, the
amazing.
lipstick perks you up a little bit, so.
Yeah.
But in any case, so we'll see what happens with the safety, you know, with the safety situation. Once again, I think it's also just a community relations issue. That's
I'm hopeful.
yeah, me too.
And again, folks, if you have not watched the April Chalk Talk, go to Smoking Joe Nation YouTube and watch it. I'm telling you, you had Ariel Martinez. That was a powerful speaker from the jump.
Yeah.
Chad Taylor was emceeing it. You had Kyle Van Duzer, amazing speaker. I mean, he really impressed me at the Chalk Talk. I
Wasn't
mean,
he nice?
he,
Oh my
he
gosh.
really impressed me at the Chalk
These
Talk.
are all people that are community activists
Yeah.
and that are concerned about the children and are willing to do something about it, you know, on a regular basis.
Well, that's what we gotta have. We gotta have, I've said it all along, and people's heard me at the school board, I always say faith, family, and Florida. You know, I stand on my faith, I take care of my family, and I love my Florida. I mean, that's just the thing about it. We got to take care of each other in this community, and one way we can do that is taking care of our school board. And our school board right now is wrecked. I mean, they can't get along. Watch any meeting. I'm not saying nothing out of school here. If you watch any meeting, one of them's arguing with the other, is infighting, and you know, and the ones that get away with the most are the ones that's locked in more toward the establishment.
And as a result, who suffers?
The children.
The children.
The children
Exactly.
and the
And your
parents.
wallets,
And
and your
actually,
wallets.
everyone suffers.
They do, but
the teachers suffer, the
Well,
bus
that is
drivers
true.
suffer.
I agree.
Every single person
does,
suffers
yes.
underneath their reign. And I'm gonna call it a reign because that's what it is.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. And you know, look, anybody knows I run the Chris Patrica fan club, because I'll tell you what, if there was ever a Satan on earth, she's it.
Listen, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and the powers of the earth.
Well, but this is actually a good segue into something that the school board has been talking about lately, and that is the half-cent sales tax. And you know, the half-cent sales tax was on the referendum. Well, it is, because the half-cent sales tax is something that people are debating about whether it was really necessary or not. I mean, ultimately, the voters did vote it in. And just recently, the school board, well, not all voters, but the majority of the voters
I mean,
did.
enough voters for it to be, you know, in
yeah.
place.
And you know, and so here's the thing, and when you look at that referendum, by the way, it is specifically about, you know, adding on to buildings or
Yeah.
constructing schools. It's
Infrastructure.
Yes, infrastructure. Now, so the school board did a presentation just, I don't know, within the last few days or whatever, on everything that the half-cent sales tax has been able to do. And, you know, okay, so the presentation was nicely done. However, here's the problem. There is no line item budget.
Yeah.
No.
So without a line item budget, and I'm not talking about the half-cent sales tax here, I'm talking about the $1.9 billion budget. Until there's a line item budget, we don't really know whether we needed that half-cent sales tax or not, because we don't know whether there's wasteful spending, overspending, or underspending.
Yeah, and if you look at that presentation, I mean, by the looks of the presentation, it would appear as if, you know, the sales tax dollars are being put to good use, and that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But here's the thing, presentations can be pretty if you don't have all of the facts.
And
You
that's,
know,
that's true, and folks, that's one of the main reasons I started doing this show, is because I want transparency.
yeah.
I want people, I want the common person that goes to work every day, lives paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes might need a little help just to get across the line. I want that person to know where their tax money's going
Absolutely.
and what these people are doing to their children. Many parents, they're not doing nothing bad, but many of them don't have the time to take care of their children and work and provide for them all at the same time. So a lot of these children are raising themselves, or their older siblings are raising them, or somebody else. These people need to know why their tax money is getting so just spent on whatever.
Well, when you have a bus driver that's been driving buses for 20 or 30 years, and, they've gone from an annual salary of $20,000 to $28,000, and they're asking for a raise,
Crazy.
and the district is saying the money isn't there. Well, we really don't even know if the money is there or not.
Yeah.
The person I value most in the school system is the school bus driver. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel, because that person has to provide transportation for the child to and from school every day. Every day that the school's open, that person is with my child. And her interaction, because that child ain't being reined in like a teacher. That child is buck wild. When they get on that bus, they've done had enough.
Oh, yeah.
And they're raising Cain, and they seeing fights and everything else. Hell, I think you were double her salary.
Well, and they're on the bus for at least an hour. After the whole school day or even early in the morning. So I totally agree with you.
It's like the battle of gladiators in there.
Yes, and with no aid, and they're expected to
Patience
do
of a
all
saint.
and be all.
Patience
and,
of a
and
saint.
that's, I'm in a Facebook group called School Bus Drivers, and it's for bus drivers all around the nation. And a gentleman from the maintenance department in the Pinellas County School Bus Drivers posted a picture just yesterday about how excited he was for the 3-day weekend coming up, and you could see the pride on his face over what he does for a living, because our bus drivers have pride in what they do. They chose this job for a reason, and it wasn't because of the paycheck. So
And I'm going to tell you something, bus drivers. Look, I'll just be honest with you. I've employed many bus drivers in my line of work. My bus drivers...
Don't give them any ideas, we need them.
But I'm just going to tell you, the average pay for my bus drivers is like $150 a day when I had to have them. And that was a couple of years ago. So, you know what I'm saying? And these ladies over here, they're being mistreated financially.
I mean, I always say if the raise isn't enough to pay a bill at home, for example, your gas bill or part of your car payment, if your monthly increase isn't enough to pay for something extra, then it's not much really of a raise at all. But I do have to say, as somebody that ran human resources, I value everybody in the school district. If everybody is really doing the job the way that they are supposed to do it, then everybody plays an integral part.
That's why we need checks and balances we don't have.
We do.
Well,
We do
yeah,
not
and
have
that
checks and balances.
that transparent budget, that line item budget, because if we had that line item budget and we knew where literally every dollar, every penny was going, then we would know where we can cut the fat, and we could then give of the appropriate salaries to all of our employees, not just the bus drivers, but our support staff, our teachers, everyone.
I'll never be happy until we get a forensic audit.
Oh,
We've never
same.
had a forensic
Can I
audit.
clap?
Never.
You took
Can
the
I
words
clap?
out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and
No, I clapped. Like
well,
that.
and just so that the
School
audience,
clap.
oh, there you go. We have to hand gesture, because when we're at the board meetings, we're not allowed to
It's a
clap.
force
So
of habit.
this means we.
They'll drag us
so
out
when you-
like Tara Jenner.
Yeah, when you see us
It's a
doing
force of
this,
habit.
it means that we're in agreement. But and just so that the audience knows, what we mean by a forensic audit is looking at every single school in the district.
Yes.
Okay, looking at the facilities, looking at the programs, looking at the administrator to student ratio, the teacher to student ratio, the support staff to student
Everything.
ratio, everything. Looking at every part of the budget to see where the money is going, to ask questions. Why is it going here? Shouldn't it be going there? Also, we need, one of the things that we're going to definitely get into during these podcasts is student achievement.
Oh, yeah.
Our scores are not good.
And
Before you-
nobody's, not one candidate has brought that up yet. This is the
Yeah,
first
well,
time a candidate has brought
I
that
brought it
up.
up yesterday.
Well, Christy
Oh,
just
I'm
posted
sorry.
something on
But-
Facebook about it today as well.
But before we jump on student achievement, there's one other thing I would like to add to that for forensic audit, because this drives me nuts about when I see these on the agenda, is that big long list of items that we throw away because they're out of use or whatever. I want to see, in a perfect world, you know, where the board is different, I would love to see from our district an explanation, not a verbal explanation of, oh, well, we're getting rid of millions of dollars of old technology because it's phased out. Okay, no. I want to know in writing an explanation of why are we getting rid of this item and where and what are we doing with it? Because we are talking about millions of dollars here in monies that we just throw away every other month.
And you gotta be careful, because the school boards, oh, we've been audited. Yes, they've been audited, but
Audited by
they've
themselves.
never, ever had a forensic audit. And we really need the FDLE or the OIG or somebody else to go over and look through what's going on with the school board, because there is definitely collusion.
Well, you know, and once again, I know I share my paradigm a lot, but my paradigm is that I came from school districts where you had both an internal auditor, not just an
Not a
audit committee, okay?
A real auditor?
And then you had an external auditor.
Yes.
And the external auditor audited the internal auditor. You know, and that makes sense, because that's a check and balance system.
Checks and balances.
Checks
That
and
was what our
balances.
that's what our whole podcast was about last week.
Yeah.
Denise, was checks and balances.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Checks and balances, well, yeah.
It really is. I mean, look, we're there every meeting, and what is down to every other week that I've been going, and I think they had missed a meeting or two there. They had a time off, a day off or something. They didn't have a school board action meeting.
It was spring break, so they pushed it back.
So, but every meeting, you go in there, and I promise you, there's several people that you'll find in there every time. And the main two is Denise and Christy. I mean, they're always there. You know, you always see Tara Jenner there, and there's several other people that are Pastor Robert Roper,
Yes.
who I have to tell you, I am so impressed with Pastor Robert Roper, the way he comes out and goes, he literally, as a man of faith, stands up to the corruption of the pornographic materials that our children are being exposed to. I mean, look, he does a tremendous job at exposing that.
He's a man of integrity, and you know, it takes a lot of courage to get up as a man of faith and stand, you know, and take the stance that he has, you know, in the position that he holds, and because he receives a lot of hate from certain communities, and he accepts it lovingly, you know, with love. And you know, he did something the other night, just last night, the other night at the school board meeting. One of the flags, the prisoner of war flag, was tangled.
Those are the flags that are outside of the.
So this is at the school district. And he and Tara and one of the sheriffs, they
It
took
started
the
out,
time.
it was just him and Tara.
Yes.
And then the sheriff's deputy come over because Robert was shaking the wire. I guess he's afraid it was a terrorist activity or something.
No,
I
our
was just
sheriffs
making a
are
joke about
really
that.
good.
No,
to
they
us.
went over there, and the young officer helped Pastor Rover and Tara straighten the flag out. But I took a picture of that, actually.
Good.
Yeah, I got a picture of that.
We need to replace the flags too.
Yeah.
This flag is tattered.
Oh,
Right, so,
They need a new flag.
Tara was in the
where
audience
is all
talking
that
about
money?
the need for replacement of the flags because they are tattered, yes, and then they need to be, what is the correct terminology? Retired correctly, yes.
Well, I'll
That
pay
is
for the
important.
Florida flag out of my pocket, too.
You know,
Yeah, they would love that, I'm
I
sure.
would.
one of the things that I think would be great is that whenever anybody's listening, if they have specific issues that they would like us to discuss, we would love to be able to get your input and find out what it is that you'd like to hear more about.
And we're gonna get more tech savvy with this, so we're gonna get a streaming service involved in this, so where we can see your questions and you can interact in a more live way.
The other thing is that you can come down on Thursday nights too, from 7 to 8 if you want to watch it live. You can also join us at Benita Bill's Waterfront Cafe at 702 Fisherman's Wharf. There's threw that in Fort Myers.
Fort Myers Beach, there's a difference.
We love Benita Bill.
But, you know, we are going to be talking about, obviously after being involved for so long in school board, we know a lot of issues and we'll be talking about a lot of things. One of the things that I'm sure that we're going to spend more time talking about in general will be the Parents' Rights Bill. And that began last year. It was passed into law. It was called SB 582. That stands for Senate Bill 582. And this year, right now, it's House Bill 1557. And the reason why we want to talk about that is because this is for all parents. All parents should know what their rights are and then make decisions based on what they know their rights are.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that we've been asking the school board to do, and I don't think it's going to be successful. I'd like to say that I think that it would be, but I don't think it will be, is that I think that it should be front and center in the code of conduct. So that as soon as the parents open that code of conduct, they see the Parents' Rights Bill.
Absolutely.
Well, and you know, I've seen so many nice iterations of it from so many different organizations, because it's a lot. It's like 10 or 17 something bullet points, but I've seen it presented by so many different organizations now in such nice, clean-cut ways that I'm certain our $1.9 billion budget, you know, tech team can get something, our communications department can get something put together that, you know, is appealing to all audiences, but is still included.
Yeah, you know, we do, and again, you gotta understand, these two girls are powerful candidates, and they've got some great endorsements already. I'm telling you folks, I've said it every time, this is the most important race you're gonna face this year. To me, you gotta start with your money and your children. I mean, right now, if you look at what's going on, your money's being wastefully spent. And, you know, I'm not going to go into it tonight, but I am going to say one thing. They just had Lauren Stilwell quit for misuse of monies.
Okay. Careful with this topic.
Well,
I know it's timely, but yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, that's what I said. And she's allegedly being investigated by Homeland Security. She allegedly done that and it was spying on the public, the general public.
Still under investigation.
It's still under investigation. However, she just flipped her maiden name around from her married name, and now she's the CCO over here at the tax collector's office in Lee County. To me, that's like putting a pedophile in kindergarten. I'm sorry, I feel that way.
It's a good thing we live in a free country.
Where
we can all feel however we want to feel.
Look, again, I know that's part of the establishment. I don't care. I know this has been going on for years here in Lee County. They just swap the names, and somebody from another higher up office make sure they find them a job somewhere else. Wow. It's not something that's not going on for years. I mean, you girls might not have been around here as long as I have, but I'm telling you, this has been a corrupt board for most of my life.
So how do we change it? We get people like me and Denise, and we get grassroots candidates in these seats all throughout the state of Florida, because I know it's not just Southwest Florida that's listening here, but in every single county, you need to be vetting your school board candidates and looking for grassroots candidates that represent your values and what you want to see the future look like for our kids.
People that have a vision for what a school system should look like. And let me say one other thing. You know, if the school board was a healthy school board and there was a candidate that was running that maybe lacked some qualifications or knowledge, they would just naturally be mentored by the other school board members. But right now, this race is so critical because really, we realized that we were asleep for a long time, and now we have to have people that can hit the ground running.
Because it's not, unfortunately, we're not dealing with a healthy school board. If you watch any one of these meetings, I mean, it got better for a little while there when they were going through their counseling or whatever. But now that that's over and they're not doing that anymore, like they're right back at each other's throats. And that's not healthy, and that's not the kind of environment that we want for Lee County anymore. So if you don't want that anymore either,
We don't need a school board that needs to be counseled who is counseling the way our children are raised. I mean, come on, now that's just silly.
So
We can't work together.
we have to work together.
I mean, we learn play together nicely in the sandbox, or you don't get to play.
So this is,
If you can't work together though as a whole, which is clearly that the school board is not right now, then it's never gonna work. So we gotta have people in there that can cohabitate together.
Yeah.
That's
They
correct.
like each
About
other
building
or
relationships.
not.
Absolutely.
They have to be able to cohabitate to be able
Now-
to make anything better, or we're just in the same spot as we were.
Yep,
now,
Yes.
that's right.
this is Smokin' Joe's show, but when he's ready to wind down, if he'd give us a clue so
Yeah,
that Christy
yeah,
and I
we're-
can
yeah,
both
I'm
leave
sure I have
with
no idea
our
what time it
thoughts.
is.
We're getting ready. I'm going to go ahead and I want to give out a special thanks to Gulf Point Construction. That's 9240 Marketplace Road, Suite 1, Fort Myers, Florida 33912.
What kind of construction do they do, Joe?
I think they're general contractors, and that's the family that donated the 6 bikes for our lease. That's amazing. We'd like to thank. We'd like to thank them again. They're fine people, so please support Gulf Point Construction, 9240 Marketplace Road, Suite 1, Fort Myers, Florida 33912. And the most important thing y'all folks can do is share this video. Subscribe, like, share, get it out there. Let people know that we are trying our best to not get in place two powerful women and expose some of the things, reasons why, we need them. We definitely need people like Denise Nystrom and Christy Diavagelli to help get things back in order. Denise, you got anything coming up?
Well, I don't. I'll get out the newsletter about various things that are coming up. We'll continue to talk about those things on the podcast. I'll get the podcast out as well on the newsletter. Once again, just wanting everybody to know that if they want to contact us, they have specific issues they want to talk about, they should email us so that we can talk about their issues. They can come on down to Bonita Bill's Waterfront Cafe and hang here for an hour on Thursday nights. It's kind of a fun place to be, out on the water. I just will tell you that if elected, when elected, I will absolutely hit the ground running.
Win.
I will
No,
absolutely.
And Denise, I think
Give
Craig
the
wants.
email addresses.
There
Yes, so my email address, electdenisnystrom@gmail.com. That's elect, DENISE, Nystrom, NYSTROM @gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from everybody, and I'll see y'all next week.
What you got coming up, Christy?
I don't know what I have coming up because I'm not great with my calendar. But I would like to really quickly give a quick shout out to Jim with Mega Graphics in Naples.
right.
Jim
Amazing
is the
work.
best. Okay, if you ever see me or Denise or Joe driving around Lee County and you're like, oh my goodness, look how cool their cars look, it's because
Oh, yeah.
Jim is amazing.
I was so boring. I had my van. I had a solid white boring transit
You should
van.
see it now.
Jim done his magic
so
on
cool.
it. It's amazing, and it's all dedicated to Florida.
Well, I actually have to tell a quick story, and it's a true story. So while I'm sitting here, I actually got a text from somebody that's a supporter, and they said, hey, where are you? I see your Jeep with the wrap on it. And that's while I'm sitting here at Bonita Bill's. And so I said, hey, I'm at Bonita Bill's. I'm in the side room. If you want to come on over, come on over. So that is a true story. So
That's
he-
awesome.
Yeah, this
Now
guy-
let me give his phone number out. Unless
I
you-
was gonna, yeah,
Go
I've got
ahead.
it all
Go
here.
ahead, Christy.
So Jim with Mega Graphics, he's located on Enterprise Avenue in Naples, and his telephone number is 239-304-8288. That's 239-304-8288. And so as I was sitting here and we were talking about Jim, Tara was eyeing over to me and reminded me of a calendar event that Denise and I have. We actually have a meet and greet on Monday, April 18th from 6 to 7 p.m. in North Fort Myers at the Tropic Terrace Clubhouse. So if you would like to join us, give Claudia a call at 407-925-6705. And I love these Thursday nights, and I can't wait till next week. So until then, if you need to get in touch with me, you can do so at Christy4leeschools@gmail.com. That's Christy, CHRISTY, the number 4, LEESCHOOLS @gmail.com.
And actually, thank you for people that remind us of things. We are actually going to have a meet and greet fundraiser at Crispy Creperie in Cape Coral. Crisp Creperie.
Creperie.
Thank
I
you.
love their crepes.
Oh my God, they're delicious. They are delicious.
You know what the secret ingredient is?
What?
Freedom, liberty.
yeah, well, that's
It's
true.
liberty.
Well, in any case, that's going to be on May 3rd from 6:30 to 8:30. And once again, if you would like to receive the campaign newsletter so that you can keep up to date with what's going on, just email Chrissy or myself and we'll make sure that we get that out to you.
Folks, I'd like for you to come down to Bonita Bill's Waterfront Cafe.
You can ask questions on the live chat that goes with.
Yeah, we got a live chat that's going on when we're live that you can also ask questions. And I want to thank Craig Nystrom for running the board. Miss Jessie over here, she's our camera executive producer.
And our audience. We went from 1 to 4 this week.
We're growing.
Five.
Second
Yes.
show.
We got
that-
5
and
online and 4 in house.
Oh, that's 9. We have almost 10 whole viewers.
and I want to thank Arlise. Arlise, you're an amazing person. Like I told you before, you're one of my heroes. And you too, young lady.
When I grow up, I want to be like Arlene.
All right, now we want to thank our sponsors. Folks, if you've got some last minute shopping orders, you need to run on out to Farmer Joe's. Farmer Joe's is located at 1401 Southwest Pine Island Road in Cape Coral, Florida, 33991. And they've got, look, you've got to go in there and check it out. They've got some amazing pastries. They've got a lot of deals going on for Easter.
Produce.
I just seen yellow meated watermelons going in there 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Pitaya, that like the dragon fruit that you've never ever seen before in your life. It's so good.
Yeah, Farmer Joe's in Cape Coral. Yeah, the Pine Island.
Not the star fruit, it's the dragon. Different.
But yeah, folks, come on out and visit us at the podcast. You can contact Denise, you can contact Christy. If you need to contact the show, you can contact Miss Jessie at crackerculturecollections@gmail.com. That she does custom printing. You can contact her for all your custom printing needs. And I want to thank Mr. Bill Simmer here at Bonita Bills and Kirby for putting up with us tonight. I want to thank all the guests that come out, and we would love to see you here next week. I'm telling you, I'm Smoking Joe. Love, peace, and gator grease. We're out.